from somewhere. It doesn't just pop into existence from nothing.
No, we don't know.
Okay. Do you believe nothing exists?
Wrong question.
No, it's not. Does
That
nothing?
question didn't follow on from what I said.
Okay. Does nothing exist?
Describe nothing.
You don't know what's nothing?
Describe nothing.
Do you not know what it is?
Describe nothing.
It's like that exam paper. Is it I don't know, or you know the answer that you don't want to tell me? Which one is it?
It's neither.
So you don't know the answer.
No, you're all over the place. You just here, there, and everywhere. What you're doing is you kind of
Andrew, why you?
I don't
know why.
hitting anything.
I don't know why you seem insecure in a way.
What is nothing?
Okay. The reason I asked you that question is to understand whether you understood the term that is used. Nothing.
Of course I understand it.
So tell me then.
And it's a nonsense term. Explain to me.
Nothing is a nonsense term.
Yeah.
So you're saying the dictionary, English dictionary, has a term nonsense in it.
Give me that definition.
Okay. You said it's nonsense based on what?
No, I've asked you to give me that.
I will give you because I have the answer. I'll give it to you.
Right,
but since I asked you first, and you called it nonsense, I'm assuming you don't know what it is.
Your line of reasoning is nonsense, but go on, define.
No, you said nothing is nonsense. You said the term is nothing. Nothing is nonsense.
My position.
Okay, since you don't know, I'll tell it to you.
Define what nothing
Actually,
is.
you haven't clarified your position because you haven't told us what nothing is.
No, I'm not going to. I'm clarifying.
You're not going to.
I'm clarifying my position. I'm asking you to
Why?
define nothing.
Why you're not going to answer that simple question?
Because I'm asking you a more pertinent question.
It's the same question.
Define nothing.
Well, how is it more pertinent when it's the same question?
I'm still waiting.
What's the question about nothing?
Yes.
It's easy to define.
Exactly.
Na and thing.
All
So
right.
no plus thing.
So okay, I'll give you my definition. You tell me if you agree or disagree. Okay? Nothing is the absence of everything.
Right.
Absolute nothingness is the absence of everything.
Sorry,
Wait.
I now have a follow-up question.
No. Before you give a follow-up question, do you agree or disagree with that definition?
Well, until I give a follow-up question,
Okay,
I
go on.
won't know.
Go on.
So, tell me what that is.
I just told you, absence of everything.
Yes. Expand that.
Which part of that do you not
Give
understand,
me
Andrew?
more information.
Andrew, which part of that do you not understand?
Because there's not enough information for me to make a
Okay. What do you understand based on my answer? Absence of everything.
Virtually nothing. Because you haven't shown. Because you haven't shown.
That's what I'm saying. Virtually nothing.
You haven't shown that.
Absolutely nothing.
You haven't shown that exists.
So it doesn't exist.
You haven't shown.
By the way, I never said it exists.
You see,
Wait.
You're getting into this logical.
No. You are.
Into this logical.
I don't know if you realize, but you actually believe nothing exists. Am I right? I'm saying it doesn't exist. It's a concept. It's just a concept. It doesn't exist in reality. Absolute nothingness doesn't exist.
Thank you.
Now you can wipe that smirk off your face because you're finally, the penny has dropped now.
Hello.
No problem. Andrew, so now we have concluded that nothing doesn't exist. Do you agree?
Carry on with your argument.
No, please. We need to, in order for me to carry to the next stage,
Right.
I want
For the
to.
sake of him carrying on his argument, let's agree with it.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, then
Either you agree or disagree. Simple as that.
you're not going to put me in a little corner because that's too simplistic.
Okay.
Put him in a bigger corner, not little.
No, wait. First thing is, I asked you the
not
meaning.
gonna happen.
Andrew, let's be fair. Come on. I asked you the meaning of nothing. You were reluctant to answer that question. Then I gave you my answer,
Yes.
and still you seem to be.
It's no good going over what we've just done.
No.
Just carry on.
But
with
in order for
your
us,
research.
to carry on, it's very important for me to understand whether you understood what I'm explaining.
Right. Well, what you said was nonsense, Brett.
Which part?
Everything.
Which part?
Everything.
Have you heard what the meaning of nothing is based on what I said? Did you understand what nothing is based on what I said? Okay, what is nothing?
According to you, the absence of everything.
Okay, and which part of that is nonsense?
Well, I'm waiting for you to carry on.
No, you said it's nonsense, so qualify it. Or is it just a claim?
Okay, it's not nonsense. Now carry on.
Good.
Right.
So now you have understood what nothing is. Does it exist? No one's laughing.
Do you want to ask the question again?
Why? You have a problem hearing?
How can nothing exist? Then it will be something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The penny dropped. Wonderful.
So carry
Good.
on.
Now that we know that nothing doesn't exist, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Can the universe come from nothing?
Nobody says it does. Again, this is taking you
It's
to
a
this
question.
point. All this bullshit is taking you to this point that
Some people do say
because
it's like
some
the
people
process
say
of physics.
the universe comes from nothing. Nobody says that. The universe
Andrew,
comes
don't say
from
nobody.
nothing.
Have you questioned everyone in the world?
Have you heard of Professor
Lawrence Krauss. Lawrence Krauss.
Yes, I know Lawrence
Yes,
Krauss.
he said.
Yes.
What did he write? Come here, Mansur. Come here.
Yes,
What's the title of
Actually,
his
I
book?
need to go pray Maghrib quickly.
He wrote a book called A Universe from Nothing. Do you know why he used that
No,
title?
Do you want to put this on it?
Do you know why he used that title?
Before you do that-
It was to get people
Oh,
to
wait.
actually look into
No,
his book
wait.
and to see that nothing in his term was not nothing.
So it's a
You know
clickbait.
that? Yes, it's
But Mansur, no need to go there. He already has said it cannot come from nothing. So let's go to the next.
So now we've got some nuance there.
okay.
Yeah. So he knows that it's not
Okay.
nothing because it's quantum flux within the universe. It doesn't require universe, right?
Did he
That's what his
explain? Did he
mathematics
explain in
show.
his book why he wrote this title?
Yes, and I mean, I've not got his book on me.
Yeah, what did he
but
say?
I can come back and we can go through his book if you want to.
Yeah, I have the book. I've read it myself too.
Good.
Yeah. So has he explained?
Where's
He's gone for a quick prayer break because our prayers are fixed time. He's going to come in about 5-10 minutes, not too long. So the universe obviously then cannot come from nothing. So according to Professor Krauss and according to yourself, you could be another professor. I don't know. I didn't ask. Has the universe always been there?
the present scientific consensus is that it's been around for about 14 billion years.
Okay. So
I'm not fixed on an absolutist position. As a scientist,
what does it mean it's been there 14 point something billion years?
I'm not Lawrence Krauss.
Now what does it mean? You talked about the current scientific consensus. What
As
does
we
it mean?
understand it, it starts off at a finite point and it expands over 14
You have to go
billion
with
years.
you slowly. When you say something age is 14.7
Well, yeah, whatever.
No. I want to make sure you're not talking nonsense. Like you are saying it's nonsense. I want to make sure you're not talking nonsense. So when you say something's age is no. I want to make sure scientists are not talking nonsense. So when you said the age of the universe is 14.7 billion years old, so if you go back, is that when you say it started, right? You said it started.
What scientists will say, and this is me as a non-physicist trying to impart this information,
But don't worry, you have a physicist here, right in front of us.
is that's the point in which the time and space continuum that we're in now is thought to have started from a very small point.
Time started from that point.
What we know of before then, we don't know anything, which is what I was saying to your colleague before, that we don't.
So time started from that point, right?
No, the time as we understand it in this continuum started then.
So basically, time existed before that.
You've heard of, I'm sure you've heard of the theory, and there's not a lot of evidence for it, but it's a logical theory of the multiverse.
I have heard about it, but what I want to know, understand from you, did time exist before the Big Bang when things started?
I'm not
Of our
going to say
universe.
yes because I don't know. I'm just being honest.
What do you
know.
think? What's time?
It's irrelevant what I think.
No,
I'm
what's
not-
time
Can
you?
I just say something because you keep interrupting me? I don't have any emotional attachment to my beliefs, right?
You do hold beliefs, fine?
I do hold beliefs, but I'm a scientist. So if the
What's your
evidence
specialty?
shows that I need to change my beliefs, then I will change my beliefs based on the evidence. That doesn't lead me to an absolutist position, right? It leads me to hold that this is what the evidence shows. And that leaves it open for new evidence to come in and either firm up what we already believe and build on that to make it more likely that that's the way it is, or actually, no, this overthrows what we thought before because there is now new evidence that we hadn't even considered before, and therefore we have to take a different direction.
That's the scientific process you're describing, right?
That's my belief process.
Sure. What do you understand by time as a scientist? You said you're a scientist. What field is your specialty in?
Really, biology.
Fine.
Physics.
Biology still
So time
has to deal with time.
is continuation. Well, you're going somewhere with this, so I'll let you go wherever.
No, I want to know what you understand by time.
Well, I'd like to know what time it is now, actually.
It's 1740.
1740. Right, I've got to go at 6 because I've got a train.
Okay, got 20 minutes.
Yeah. Right. So time is. Time.
Is it a measurement of something?
Yeah, measurement of.
Of what? As a biologist, you deal with measurements, many measurements.
Yeah.
So what's time measurement of? If I say time is a measurement of change, would you agree or disagree?
Of what?
Change. Transformations.
No, not really.
Okay, so what is the time measurement of?
Come on, you know.
I'm just wondering where he's going. I'm trying to think.
It's not about where it's
The
going.
relationship between the Earth and the Sun.
That was a bit simplistic.
What time is?
So if there was no sun and the Earth, there would be no time.
Correct.
Wrong.
Time is.
No, there would.
There would not be time. Time is a construct by humans.
Yes,
where we
but you
measure
don't-
the
you
relationship between the sun and the earth. That's
Yeah.
exactly what time is.
No.
It doesn't exist outside
No,
that.
no, it does. It
How?
exists because 14 billion years ago, the
14
Earth
billion
didn't
years,
exist.
14 billion years
Even
ago
the
doesn't
sun
make any
didn't
sense
exist.
in that context at all. That doesn't make any sense.
Go and
It's
go and
nonsense.
speak to physicists.
It's
I'm not a
nonsense to say
physicist.
14 billion
Right,
years
right.
before the existence of the Earth.
Because I'm let's go
Yeah.
with the
So why do you not agree that time is actually a measurement of change? So when, for example, now and 20 minutes later, the change would have happened. There will be lots of change happening. Change has happened, and we've gone outside those changes. Now they have gone bygone, they are past.
Because the
And
way
we live.
you're presenting that, it's as though you're trying to narrowly put time into just this change time is, and that's it, and it's more than that.
It's not more. I mean, what do you understand? Because that then will help us understand about our universe, whether our universe was always there or not. So, since nothingness doesn't exist in reality, and something exists now,
Can we get on to God? I'm waiting to get on to God.
what is
Because-
what is God? What is God?
I don't know. You
You're the one who
believe in
believes
God.
in God.
No,
You
no,
should
So
tell
I'm
him.
waiting for you
That's why
give me
we need to go through a scientific process of understanding
no,
the reality.
no,
because
because-
that's the only thing that works with a scientist, right? Are you a philosopher or a scientist, or both?
Well, science is natural philosophy, isn't it?
But are you actually trained philosopher?
No, I'm a scientist.
Good, so a scientist. So what will work best with you in terms of interacting with you will be science, the scientific processes, and that's how we will do. So I am going to go
No,
through a
what would
process.
work best is you simply to tell me what you believe and why.
That doesn't work with the scientists.
It does
Scientists
work with the scientists.
accept evidence,
Yes.
not common sense.
But evidence is common sense. It's like, this is the evidence, and common sense says that you accept it.
Isn't there many things in science that goes against common sense?
Go on then.
Isn't there many things in science that goes against common sense?
It's what, sorry?
Aren't there many things in science that goes against common sense?
The science is a methodology, and the methodology is based
I am saying,
on common
aren't
sense.
there many things that we accept due to science, but that really goes against common sense? I can give you examples.
Go on then, give me an example.
Do you know of any?
You said you could give me an example. I said, please give me an example.
Do you know of any as a scientist?
I
Do you know of any?
I can't think of any at the moment. So
Do you know of any?
I'll let
Depends
you.
how you define
Okay.
common
I'll
sense.
let you-
Quantum
I'll let
tunneling
you-
on another
depends
thing.
how you
Okay,
define common sense.
let's understand something.
Because all
Do
this
you want to give?
is
Okay.
obscure
So
answers.
we have a physicist among us, which is very good as a scientist, biologist, and a physicist.
Yeah. So
you wanna explain?
before going to understand what common sense is, so common sense is built on the view we usually observe on common ground or observe in the common people side. Now, no.
That's what common sense is.
Common sense is that.
Yeah.
So now you have something. If I throw a ball on a wall, and then it will just reflect back. Do you
It will
understand
bounce
that?
back, right?
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah, bounce back. So this is our common sense. We say that if there is a hurdle or barrier, and if we throw something, our common sense tells that it will be reflected back or bounce back.
Under certain conditions.
Yeah, under certain conditions. Yeah, if this is hard and solid.
Yeah, there has to be gravity and air resistance.
If you throw something in a black hole, what happens?
We are talking about common people, so we are living in art, so it is wall on the
holes
art
are
it is not. So it
figments
is
of our
common
imagination.
sense. Yeah, it's common
I'm not
sense.
interested in discussing
We are not.
science.
We are talking about common.
I'm
we are
interested
not
in
talking about
what you
specific
believe and
situations.
why.
No.
As a
No.
Muslim.
Give
Can I
me
just
give me
ask
some
you a question?
example.
Can I ask you a simple question?
Now in quantum realm,
Let's
we have
example
particles
first.
which
Yeah,
can.
and
Which
I'm
can-
not interested in
which
quantum.
can-
I've only
let's
got
leave quantum-
20
let's leave
minutes
quantum
to
out of
go.
it.
15
I'm
perhaps.
not
No, it's
15, yeah.
physics.
So
It's
please
physics,
explain
science.
Let's
what
jump.
you
Let's
So
cut to the
in
chase. I'm
science,
gonna go
things
5
can
minutes.
go.
Let me ask
In
you a question.
science, things
Okay, just
can
one
go
second.
against common sense.
Okay.
So as a scientist, you should have common
heard
sense
him.
about these scientific facts. Science works on.
Obscuration,
No, sorry,
obscurantism, it's
sorry.
just
We're not
avoid
interested
the
in what you're saying.
subject.
It's
sorry.
going on and on about the same thing.
No,
Let me ask
you are
let me
claiming
ask
that
you a question.
everything is nonsense, and then you are claiming
one
that you
said
are
everything is
scientist
nonsense.
and
Everything
not
is-
understanding basics of
everything
science.
is-
Okay.
How science
All right.
works.
Okay.
Let me ask you. Wait, let me ask you a question.
What is the question you
Wait,
want to
here's my
ask?
question.
Okay, what is the question you want
It's
to
a very
ask?
simple question.
Let's hope so.
According to most religious people, Muslims and Jews,
Yeah.
Christians, they believe that there is something which we call God, which is some kind of higher intelligence, right? We don't know exactly what it is, right? But it's an intelligence that's creative force, right? And it's the creative force behind everything in the universe. You, me, ants, the atoms, the trees, yeah? This is a creative force, okay? Whatever that means. Now, according to my understanding of a religious Muslim, yeah, you believe the same creative force that made this amazing, crazy universe also told some words to the mind of a guy called Muhammad, blessed be him, peace, whatever you say, yeah, and that these words were then written down in this book called the Quran. And what we're basically saying is that the Quran, yes, is from the same creative space, mind, as the universe. That's, in other words, the God, Allah, right, the best work he could think of, yeah, or she could think of, to come and deliver to humanity in Arabic was the Quran, right? Now, when I read the Quran, right, I look at the universe, which is amazing. I look at the Quran, I'm like, meh. You know, you could do better, I could do better, he could write a better book than that. It hasn't had an update for 1400 years. It's causing a lot of mess in this planet, because lots of people who've been in the Quran, like a significant number of them in different countries, are committing vile acts of disgusting violence and saying Allahu Akbar. So how do you reconcile your belief that the Quran is the greatest work of the greatest mind, God, yeah, and yet the results, and no disrespect to Muslims, when I read it, I find it a diabolical creation compared to the universe?
Okay.
That's my question.
Very good question. How many mistakes and errors did you make in that question? Did you count? Or have you lost counts?
Don't be arrogant and rude.
No. I'm making
this all the time.
Hang on. Excuse me.
You're being obnoxious. I'm asking you a question.
I am
good
going to
faith,
answer.
And you're being
Not in
obnoxious
good faith.
and rude.
Okay.
And you're supposed to be a good Muslim.
Let me help
not
you
in
with
good
them.
faith. Oh, how do you know it's not in good faith?
Let me-
What does good faith even mean to you?
Let me
Tell me.
How long have I known you for in this park?
I have no idea how long you've known me in this park.
Only today?
No, you've seen me around before.
Many years.
Have you ever answered a
Right.
question in your life?
I am about to answer if you're going to listen.
Go on
You got
then.
10 more minutes maybe perhaps. So the idea that you have, the construct in your question, the assumption, the Quran is the greatest book, greatest work of God, false. Quran is the communication, the final communication from God. Yeah, from our Creator, the final. It's not just His greatest. In fact, all of these things that you see, this is the creation of God, okay?
That's Joseph Smith, actually.
Yeah, go on.
Right. So the thing that you've read the Quran, no, you haven't read the Quran. You've read translations, perhaps in the languages that you know of, translations, and you misunderstood those translations, what it has to say. And based on the actions of certain ignorant, emotional individuals, the fringe group, you then say, this is what the Quran say, and I can match one with the other, and that's why Quran is a diabolical, this book and that book, and you don't agree with. And you said,
It's open to interpretation.
and you said,
There's been no updates for 1400 years.
and you said you can write a better book. Guess what? The Quran is such a book that you cannot even construct or compose it.
Crass, it's
It's
ridiculous.
a terrible
excuse me.
book.
Terrible book.
It's awful.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Full of nasty, violent.
Your value judgment. Look at what he's saying. Your value judgment of a book comes from your
Comes from
total.
reading a translation of it.
Your comes from what?
Comes
You know,
from
comes.
a better understanding of the world than Muhammad could ever have had in
Excuse
his
me.
time.
Let me give
That's
you.
where it
Okay.
comes from.
The Quran says.
You
I want-
have more knowledge
Can
than
I
you
can
yourself
I
have
can
more
I
knowledge
can I
than
reply?
Muhammad ever had.
Can I reply rather than being interrupted? The Quran says to give you an English translation of the meaning. Have the unbelievers, that's like two. Have they not known that the heavens and the earth was joined together as one piece, and God parted it asunder and brought every living thing from water? Would they then not believe? Now let's deal with that.
Go read more than one.
Wait.
It says that in the Torah, which I learned as a kid.
Is that information nonsense or something
The Quran
significant?
says lots of things, including
That information-
unbelievers should be punished.
Vacuous crap.
The information about the origin of the heavens and the earth being united in one piece.
Nothing what's-
And then, well, excuse me, you're a biologist, right?
What usable technology do you get out of that information?
One second.
You
one
don't get
sec-
anything out
One
of that
moment.
information.
I'm gonna.
It's vacuous nonsense.
Why don't you listen to the example first? So the Quran says that. So I would like you to tell me, when the Quran says this, the origin of the heavens and the earth, all the planetary bodies, the stars, the galaxies, the earth, everything was actually in a
Go study
joint.
astronomy. Go to a university.
Excuse me.
Understand the accretion.
You're not letting me.
You're
You're not letting me even address the question.
What is your point?
My question to you.
What's your point?
My question to you is, how do you explain the knowledge of the common origin of our cosmos, which we have now confirmed through the redshift?
I have read the Quran. I know what nonsense it says.
One second. Have we confirmed that our universe?
Confirmed anything in the Quran.
You're not listening, are you?
You're filming this.
You're not
watching it, and they're like, "Come on, answer the
You're not listening,
question."
are you? Here's my point.
He's asking
Here's my point.
I've got 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. So in your valuable 5 minutes, here's something then.
Annoying.
I'm saying, do we know now, using our scientific tools and technology, that the Earth, the solar system, the Milky Way, the galaxies, all of them were actually in one point, united at one point? Do we know that? Yes, we do.
Well, we know that the universe started at the Big Bang, yeah.
We do now know, right? We have
Know
control.
that. It's a theory.
Well, it's a theory.
Oh, now it's become a theory.
It's the best explanation that we have based on the evidence that we have at
Correct,
the moment.
correct.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
since this
But
is
the
our...
Quran doesn't say that. You
Hang on,
need to
hang on.
really disrespectfully misinterpret the Quran for it to even approach saying anything
Okay.
like that.
What did I misinterpret in the translation that I gave of a
Well,
Quranic
guys,
verse?
the
why would Allah give a book in Arabic
So-
to a bunch of desert people 1600
listen.
years ago?
So when the
And
Quran
then
said
we
that,
don't speak Arabic.
are you
Hang
listening?
on, what's the
No,
idea
because
here?
Are you
I'm going
listening?
Now. I want to go and see Bob.
Are you really a biologist?
Yeah. Why?
Because I doubt very much so. Because it doesn't reflect your level of intelligence having a discussion.
Here we go with ad homs.
It's not ad hominem.
Right, guys,
because
I'd like to say-
you're not even getting a discussion.
And I'll put a little statement on the cameras here to you and every Muslim and that Palestinian lover over here, right?
Yeah.
As a Zionist, right? I just want to say, yeah.
Okay.
That Palestinians,
Okay, see you later. No.
Palestinians
We're not giving you
are
free
human
time.
beings who are suffering the most
People
appalling
have
conditions in Gaza. And if you
So now we don't want to.
care
Okay.
about
People do not
Palestinian
understand
people,
basic
if
things
you
about
care
time,
and love
and
them,
they
what's
claim
to
that
survive those left.
No one's going to listen to him. Up with the mic.
Release of hostages and the immediate surrender.
Oh, don't go yet.
to
I have things to say. Let him finish.
Hamas surrender so that they can be released.
Welcome, sir. I'm still live recording. I'll speak to you later, inshallah. Okay. Okay. Does he not realize no one's hearing him because I've got the mic? This is the level of intelligence these people have.
This person has claimed that time definition of time is related with existence of sun and earth.
Yes.
And how is
So,
stupid this? And they are
these-
claiming that they are from scientific background.
Look at that. These people claim to be intelligent, scientists. Definition of time, time is related only for him to the earth and the sun. When I said, what if the earth and the sun wasn't there? Would there be no time? And he doesn't realize his voice is not going to be picked up because I've moved away from him and the mic is on me. And he keeps talking. So all the people who are just listening to his mouth movement, he wasn't talking much sense anyway. Okay? So just to sum up and so on, we are trying to have a discussion with someone who claims to be a scientist and biologist specifically to understand about the world and whether there's a creator of the world or not. So I gave an example so he can relate to about how, because this gentleman asked a question in the middle. I mean, how is this Quran a book from he doesn't accept the Quran any significant for humanity? I gave an example of a verse from the Quran translated in English, the language that both of them are able to understand, I hope, about the common origin of the universe and about life coming from, source from water. He heard that and still it didn't click on him. Like, how can a book 1,500 years almost ago say such a thing that we recently, in his lifetime, he came to know and confirm? In his lifetime. His grandfathers didn't know that. They weren't sure that this was the origin of our universe. And yet, knowing this information in his lifetime, he is so against this book. This is not about someone being open-minded and having an intellectual, scientific rigor in understanding reality. This is close-mindedness. This is bigotry. This is hatred of Islam. This is hatred of the book that God has sent. It is anti-religion. It is anti-Islam, Islamophobia, if you want to call all of this. It has nothing to do with love of reality, love of science and knowledge and acquiring the truth. It's all a smokescreen. So whenever we want to have a discussion with them, look at the level of their intelligence. Yeah, he's gone. I mean, should we next time check their IQ level, every atheist that comes, and see, and you know, because...
No, I think the discussion tells us the IQ level.
He was claiming that everything you were saying.
We let the people judge.
Yeah, but it's to spare the people from losing their brain cells. I mean, I often hear from the comments, people are saying, I lost a lot of the brain cells today. We want to spare that. Perhaps you're going to have some IQ question and say, okay, if you really think you're smart, okay, let's prove it. Let's prove it. And then if you're up to a certain level, maybe 94, 95, maybe about 97, then we can talk. Otherwise, there's no point talking with someone who's going to be like someone who hasn't got a clue about anything. So
he didn't know nothing.
Yeah, if you didn't know the meaning of nothing, then...
Yeah. So the reason why we bring out nothing, because nothingness, which doesn't really exist in reality because it's an absence of everything, it cannot make anything. So could it make the universe, which is there? The answer is, of course, no. So they have no other option to accept that the universe wasn't made by nothing. So either it was made by something or it was always there. That's the two options. If it's always there, that they know is problematic and they can't really justify that position. What's left? Something else. Someone else made it. Well, who or what that could be, they know that's the end of their game they're playing. It is going to be a originator, a creator, a maker of this universe who has will, self-consciousness or self-awareness, who has power and ability, who has knowledge and wisdom. These things will be required to make this universe. And what are these characteristics? The attributes of a creator. So they know already the moment they start talking about the world is the moment they accept that there's a creator. But they don't want to go through this process. And that's why we want to ask them, we question them, are you really a biologist? Because if you're really a biologist, you would have known this design already. But you give this design to something that doesn't even exist. That doesn't have a brain, that doesn't have any neurons. You see, not, oh, evolution designed it. Guess what? Evolution is not a conscious entity. It doesn't have brains. Does it have neurons? Does it have self-awareness? It doesn't even know it exists. And yet they say it designed it. Imagine you have a guy called evolution and he hasn't studied science, electronics, physics or maths, and you've given him all these pieces of parts of a mobile phone and you say, go and make it. Evolution says, yeah, I don't know anything. I haven't got any knowledge anyway. And he makes an iPhone. Would he be able to make an iPhone? This guy called evolution? What's worse, they don't believe evolution is a guy or a girl. They believe evolution is a process only with no intelligence. And yet it made all these beautiful designs in the living organisms. The irony of intelligent bankruptcy. So may Allah, our creator of the universe, guide us and start guiding us through our common sense first. Let people have the common sense come back first. Then through the use of common sense and the intellect, the aql, the faculty of reason and rationality starts playing, and let people then use that to come to the realization of the truth. And the truth is, as you will realize, only in the unadulterated form or reality, what we call Islam, the final message from the Creator, with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the final book, the Quran. This is where you will find the truth, nowhere else. Everywhere else, there will be the convoluted version of truth mixed with falsehood. Either man-made or divinely truth that was sent, but mixed up with falsehood, and that's why people are in their confusions. So we invite you to become Muslims. Yes, We would like you to become Muslims. For what? So that you save yourself from the punishment of hellfire. And it's no joke. You and I will die one day. Do you think I'm going to live forever? Do you think you're going to live forever? You watching, do you think you're going to live forever? You're not going to live forever. You're going to die one day. And that's the reality. What's going to happen to you once you die? Do you even have a clue? Do you think that's it? No purpose? Even your shoe had a purpose. Your shoe had a purpose.
Shoestring had a purpose.
And you think you have no purpose? The way sophisticated human beings have been designed. And yet, you don't think you have a purpose in life, and you really think you fulfilled your purpose by being happy? That wasn't the purpose. Your purpose was to fulfill the purpose that was set by God, to worship Him, to be grateful to Him, to give Him the right that is due, to acknowledge that He is your Creator, and obey Him, and follow Him. But you haven't done so. If you don't do that, then do you think you will be saved in the hellfire? From the hellfire in the hereafter? Because there is going to be a hereafter. This life is not going to be the end of everything, and you know that very well. Because when was the last time you said, I want this to last forever? Where did you get this concept from? You are happy, and you said, I want it to last forever. I want to be in love forever. Yes, there will be forever life, but not in this one. It will be in the hereafter, but it will be either in a place of eternal torment, suffering, pain, punishment, or you can choose to go to another place which is forever, in a place of tranquility, peace, contentment, joy, happiness, felicity. You can choose which places you want to go to. Today, accepting Islam will save you from the hellfire. If you die in a state of disbelief, you've made yourself to be recipient of that punishment. You cannot have an excuse, because you're watching us, you're listening to us, and you know the message of Islam is to surrender and submit yourself and to worship that one and one God only and alone, without any partners being ascribed, and live your life accordingly. You heard the message. You cannot have an excuse in the hereafter saying, I didn't know. Or it was my forefathers that did it. It was my parents. It was my society. I was misled by Satan. I was misled by rock and roll, drugs, women. That will not be an excuse, because God is constantly guiding you, telling you, giving you guidance. Remember last time? It clicked on you. You were doing something wrong and you realized that wasn't the right thing to do. That was the guidance from God. Do you remember that? Yes, exactly that. You knew that you should have done that. But you still said, no. You brushed it off. You're saying, no. I'm going to carry on my stealing, my lying, my oppression, my killing, my raping, my looting, and all these things that people constantly do in this life. All these vices that you do. But God constantly reminds you, even internally to yourself, because you have what we call the fitrah, the internal disposition to know God, to even know some of the basic elements of right and wrong. You know lying is wrong. And you know that to lie, you have to really do something to your prefrontal cortex and then lie. Speaking the truth is easy. Lying is not.